Okay, do I need to hit the launch me? Okay, ladies, you ready?
Yeah.
We will now start the student-athlete portion of the Mount St. Mary's press conference. If we could go ahead and get started, I guess start with Kendall. How does this year compare to last year in terms of, you mentioned COVID, those kinds of things, a local team, now you're traveling. Is it that much different, or is it pretty similar?
I think from even like in conference play, it's so much different because we had another championship game at home and all of our friends and family were able to be there. As of last year, it was just our teammates and our coaches and then the opposing team. So that is definitely different. And also, yeah, I mean, last year for March Madness, it's like we were all in a village, like all the teams, like we were all together. And this year, we're going to a number 1 seed and we're at the place. So it's completely different. It's night and day.
Okay. Michaela, you guys seem to be on quite a roll going through the conference tournament and everything. Was there anything in particular that got you guys going, or do you think things just fell into place?
We just honestly started clicking on all cylinders at the perfect time. We've had kind of an up and down year towards the beginning, non-conference and early in conference, but, we stayed the course. We trusted each other. We trusted our coaches, the game plans, and at the perfect time, everything just started falling into place.
Okay. Kayla, help me out. How many players do you guys have that are healthy now?
Currently, we're only playing with 7.
Okay, and how long have you been playing with just 7? Did you have 8 going into the conference tournament? Is that right, or?
Yeah, we came in with 8. We played most of our season with 8, and then with Arne Taylor just getting hurt, we played our playoff game, championship game with 7.
I mean, is that something it's easy to say we can't dwell on it, those kinds of things, but is it something that is a little bit, especially in practice, it's got to be tough, correct?
Yeah, it's really hard for us right now. We would love to have Arne out on the court with us. She was such a big help. But with 7, even during practices, our coaches are practically our scout team right now. So it's been difficult on that part, but, we've been making it work for our group.
Okay. Do you guys have any questions?
Hey guys, Kelly and Sam, we're calling the game tomorrow. Glad to talk with y'all. So with the 7, excellent. All right. You couldn't hear me, could you? With the 7, just as a former player, I know there's some negatives, but there's some positives, right? You're not coming out. That's got to be a good feeling too.
Let's see, Kendall, could you answer that first?
Yeah, there's definitely pros and cons, I think, to everything. I think with the 7, you see a big team and you see teams with 15, 14 players. You're really only playing 7 or 8. And on top of that, you're able to connect more with the 7 or 6, whatever, that are on the court with you. With the rotations coming in with a big team, it's hard to really click right away. So with the 7 that we've been rolling with, we've been clicking, and we just won a championship with 7 players. So I'm proud of everyone I'm on the team with right now.
What about Coach White? We were trying to figure out, and maybe we can work on to see if he is truly the youngest coach in D1. We'd have to look into that. But what is that like? I know this is his first year. I know he was an assistant, so you guys had a prior relationship with him. You can all answer or start with.
Kayla, could you go first, and then we'll give everybody a chance?
Coach White is a great guy. He's a player's coach. He's willing to listen to us any time of the day. We can go up to his office anytime, and he's willing to listen, whether it's about basketball or not, and vice versa. He can be honest with us, and we know it's coming from the heart. He wants the best for all of us. So I'm really glad we can get this first one for him, So he's like 1 for 1 right now, It's his first year as a head coach. So.
Kayla, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, as Nick said, he's a player's coach, but for him, I think it's especially special because I've been here 6 years and he came in with me. So me and Antoine have been on this whole ride together. But I'm very proud of him, and he deserves everything he got this year.
Kendall, is there anything to add?
Yeah, just grateful to be able to do this. We all came back for him, and we wanted to run it back for him. And the fact that we were able to do it for his first year as a head coach in Division I basketball, just a great feeling.
And you talked about running it back. Y'all made the tournament last year. Do you feel like, okay, we know what's going on now? Do you feel like you know more of what to expect?
Kendall, why don't you go first this time?
Yes and no. Like I said a little bit earlier, it's just completely different. It's night and day from last year's tournament to this year's tournament. Last year, like I said, we were just kind of in a village with everyone else, and it was completely different. We were playing the number 1 seed right off the back. It's the first time for a playing game, so I don't want to say we know what to expect, but maybe a little bit more experience. But yeah.
Kayla, you got anything?
Yeah, pretty much just what Kendall said. Obviously, us playing a playing game because it's a little bit of a better chance, kind of, get a win under our belt in the NCAA tournament. So yeah, I think that's the biggest positive, instead of coming in, you're playing a powerhouse school right off the bat, and we're such a small school, so.
Kayla, is there anything left?
No, not really. I mean, pretty much what they said. I mean,
We'll let you go first now.
thank you, thank you.
Kayla, you're a six-year player. I mean, you've seen it all. You went through the COVID stuff. You were when you were a freshman. I'm assuming there were still transfer penalties. Your first year,
Yes.
probably. So
Yeah.
you've seen a lot of change in
Yeah.
college athletics in general.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is most different from 6 years ago to now?
Oh wow. I would definitely say right now is the first time transfer that you could play right away. I mean, because obviously we had transfers in here like Kendall, and she had to sit out her first year. Oh yes, and yes, you had to sit. Yeah, so she had to wait. But I think right now, yeah, I would say that's probably one of the biggest things, just being able to play right away.
Sam, I'll let you go in a sec because I am a proud Clemson grad, so I want to ask you,
Look at that.
Kendall. I know your brother, big-time D lineman for Clemson, and you come from a big athletic family,
Yeah.
as we know. So how often do you talk with your brother? Do you guys swap stories like, yeah, we had a 5 a.m. today, that kind of stuff? What's that like?
Yeah, we talk often, probably like twice a week. He'll actually be here tomorrow, which is gonna be, which will be awesome. But yeah, I think it's kind of like, no, I have it worse, and it's like, no, you have it worse. But at the end of the day, it's what we love doing, and he's great at what he does. So I'm just proud of him for how far he's come.
And you're the older sibling, right?
I'm older than him. Yeah, we have an
Yes.
older sister than me, than my brother.
Do
So
you feel like you set the tone? You went to play college sports and then him?
yeah, I think I have. We have an extremely competitive family, and it definitely rose between me and him. He always said I was like his brother in the house because he's with all girls. So I was the one that wrestled, and then it got to a point where it's like I'm no match for him. So
It's a big dude.
yeah, he's a little bit larger than I am. Yeah, a little bit larger nowadays. But when I was like 10, I could get away with it, But yeah, I mean, I think me going to play Division I sports, I think it definitely like kind of just opened the gates for him.
Okay, yeah, I got the mic now. So you guys were picked unanimously to win the conference in the regular season. And then you guys stumbled with some COVID issues kind of at the end of the year, which resulted in the forfeitures to start conference play. What was kind of the discussions going around for you guys around that time? Because, I mean, the new year started and it was like kind of a new season.
Kayla, could you take that?
The forfeitures were definitely a frustrating thing to deal with, especially because we were the only conference in Division I that had forfeitures, and then on top of that, our school being the only ones voted against that. So it was frustrating, to start off 0-2, and it was out of our control. But we ended up obviously being able to move past that, and we got a championship out of it. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's good. I'm curious too, for you guys as a crew, you three in particular, as leaders on this team who have had this experience, what is the message to some of the younger players on the team who may kind of, I don't know, have a little nerves or have experienced this for the first time?
Kayla, could you take that?
Yeah, I think right now it's just all about taking in the moment. It's not something every team gets to experience, but especially for them and even us, it's just one day at a time. I mean, someone like me and Kendall, this might be our last practice, so it's just kind of just taking in the whole moment and just enjoy the process with it.
So a matter of perspective.
Yes, yes, I would agree with that.
For you as a team in general, playing in the conference that you play in, you have to schedule some tough non-conference games. And I know you guys lost 7 of your first 8 games, which was, I imagine, not easy. So how do you kind of stick with it?
Kayla, could you go first?
Yeah, I mean, I think our non-conference, I think we all were pretty defeated at a point, and we were all kind of like, is it going to get easier? Or are we going to be able to start clicking? Or are we going to be able to put 4 quarters together? And, I think all of us asked that questions, including our coaches. But, I mean, I think we looked around the room and we realized the talent that we do have and that we have on our team, like from top to bottom, including our coaches. And we got to conference play, and I think we just kind of kept our head down and we stayed together, and we realized, we are capable of doing this again. And, I mean, we did. I think just the fact that we stayed together and believed and trusted in ourselves, that was the biggest thing.
Kendall said it all for the most part. So no, Kendall said it all.
on the same page.
Yeah, most of the
More times than not.
yeah.
Some of the audience, because we are going to be on national TV tomorrow, will be seeing you guys for the first time. What kind of information would you like to share about you guys as a whole, as a team, as a university? Kind of anything that we can share to the national audience.
Kayla, if you could start, and then we'll get to your team.
No pressure.
You guys can think while Kayla's asking.
What do you guys think? I really don't know. Do you have anything?
Gonna pass on that one?
You got something good?
Were you about to say something?
How about what are you most proud of, like coming from the Mount and bring you guys to this level?
I think just how far we came. I think these past 2 years we were able to put the Mount on the map, and going back to back is a big thing. And yeah, I think just putting the Mount on the map was the biggest thing with this group.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
All good.
Okay, so
Good luck,
I think
guys.
we have somebody on Zoom, is that correct?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Hello, Grace. Wait, do I hit it?
Grace Aguirre.
You guys hear me?
Grace, are you there?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Can you turn that up? Do you guys know Grace?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I assumed. Grace, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, do you have a question for any of the student athletes?
Ew. Hi, ladies. Can you guys hear me?
Can you hear her?
Kinda, yeah.
A little bit, but I'll relay the question.
All right. I appreciate it. Just kind of want to know, as you guys have gotten into the film, what you see from Longwood and how you guys think you stack up.
Who would like to take that one? I've lost track of whose turn it is.
I can take it.
Okay, go ahead, Kendall.
I mean, they're a very talented team. Obviously, they just won their conference championship. They're very athletic. They're gritty. They have a player of the year on their team. And, you know, I think they're going to be a tough challenge, but I think we're capable of hopefully pulling something out.
Yeah, I'll toss this next one to Kayla then. You know, just with the history, I think Michaela touched on it a little bit. The feed was a little shoddy, so I hope I don't repeat. But with your, you know, the history of you guys playing Longwood back when you guys were in Division II, and this being a playing game and having a chance to win this game rather than going up in Maryland in first round, just what's the different feeling like going into this game?
Kayla?
Just like what I said earlier, I mean, we have a better chance of, you know, getting an NCAA win. So we're going to obviously take it all in. We're going to, you know, make sure we have our game plan all set and locked in. Make sure we're coming in locked into practice, you know, and come out tomorrow and see what happens.
What has the travel like been for you guys? How did it differ from last year?
Kayla?
I mean, this year we were just straight bust. Last year we hopped on a jet, got off, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Just busing pretty much.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Grace.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Are we good? All right, ladies, thank you very,
I have
very
one
much.
more.
Oh, sorry, I
oh,
apologize.
Sorry.
Hold on 1 second, let him get the mic.
Whole process.
Following the rules.
With it behind you guys, it says March Madness. That was not the case before, and there's been a lot of talk and focus on equality and evening out the playing field for women in the game. Like we were talked about, some of you guys have been here for a while. What still needs to be improved? Have you seen improvement? Any kind of comments on that?
Who would like to talk about that?
I'll go first. As far as improvement, we now know that everything that the men get, we now get. Now, whether that's a lot or little, I don't know the details of that. But, I mean, so far with our, I think they call it the swag bags, I mean, we got the same stuff as the men. Obviously, there's always room for improvement. You know, behind closed doors, I'm sure there's a lot of, like, other things going on that obviously we don't know about. But, I mean, it's a step, and I'm glad that last year, our March Madness for women, like, the publicity happen. You know, the TikTok, Kendall actually blew up on TikToks with, you know, Sedona Prince, some of the other ones. So, you know, to like, you know, make a statement. So I'm glad that happened. And, you know, women were able to have bigger voices in the sport. So.
Kendall, would you like to comment?
Yeah, I think last year being a part of March Madness obviously was amazing, but I think it was also very difficult for all of us, kind of, you know, walking into practice, and then we saw what our gym looked like, and we just kind of thought that was something for recovery after practice, but then realizing like that was the gym we got to lift, and seeing all the other stuff that the guys got. I mean, I thought it was extremely difficult, and just seeing that some people are trying to make steps in the right direction is great, but I think it's sad that in 2022 we're still dealing with this.
Kayla, would you like to add anything?
I guess just what Kendall said. Like last year when we walked in, we weren't like fully aware of like what the men were getting to us, and then when it was brought to light, we were pretty disappointed. Like Kendall said, and this kind of like this year, 2022, we're still dealing with it, and I think that was the most disappointing thing for us.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Thank
guys
you.
so much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We'll go ahead and start Coach White's segment of the press conference from Mount St. Mary's. Coach, if you could please give us an opening statement.
Yeah, first just want to thank everyone and especially our administrators at the Mount and all of our family and friends. The last couple of weeks has been really fast-paced for us, and you know, there's just been so much support and love, and that's the reason why we're here right now. And again, I just want to thank everyone who's been involved, and so excited to be here and, you know, get to play Longwood, a very good ball club, and yeah, we're just very excited about this opportunity.
Okay, we'll now open it up for questions. We can go ahead and use the mic.
Hey, Coach. Kelly Gramlich, Sam Ravitch. We're calling the game tomorrow. This is your first year, and you were an assistant at the Mount for a while. We were talking with Kayla, and she said that you guys came in together, and we know this is her 6th year. And both Kayla and Kendall said they came back to play for you and to run it back in your first year. What has it been like to be a first-year coach? We'll start with that.
Yeah, it's been helpful because I have a pretty talented group to work with. You know, I've been very fortunate to work with these players, and I've been with them for some time now. And like you just said, I've been with Kayla since 2016, and I used to work out with her every single day. And the same thing with Kendall when she first got here. We worked out every single day together, so I know their games really, really well. And that was huge for me, was to keep those two involved in this program when I took over. And yeah, they're a huge piece piece to the puzzle to what we're doing, and the same with everyone else. You know, I was that guy who was in the gym every single day with them, so it means a lot to be able to, you know, as a first-year head coach, to do it with the players I've been with for the last few years.
What is it like to transition where these players know you as an assistant, and it can be a different vibe than being the head coach? So what was that transition like?
It's tough. It's really, really tough, and it took me a while to figure out that balance, because before, my role on the staff was really simple. You know, I was player development guy, defensive coordinator, and recruiting, and that was pretty much it for me, right? So I had a pretty sweet deal. But then moving over into this chair, like, you know, I was a tough coach, you know, and I'm still a pretty tough coach on them, but there's that fine balance. Like, when you're sitting in that chair, you got to have those conversations where you pull them off to a side a lot more than what you used to, and it's got to be a healthy balance of it, and it took me a little while to figure that out, but once I did, things really started to go our way.
You guys currently have 7 healthy players. So I know that can be a challenge as a head coach, but maybe in some ways a little easier. Your rotation isn't that complicated, right? You've got 7, and you're going to roll with them.
That's it. You know, everyone's going to play, so there's no complaining about playing time right now. But it is challenging, you know, because they work so hard. And I think one thing that people don't really realize, our style of play, we play so fast. So we've had to adjust our style of play. We can't push the ball like we really want to in transition because it just doesn't bode well for us right now. So our style of play on the offensive end, we got to, you know, really kind of slow the tempo down, play some efficient basketball in the half court. But no, it's 7 tough players that we have. They're all talented. They all bring something to the table, and I'm glad I get to go to battle with these 7.
What is the difference for you from the coaching perspective? Last year you guys made the tournament, but there wasn't a first 4. Now you're in the first 4. You've got a game against Longwood that you're feeling really good about getting a dub. And, of course, not saying you didn't feel good last year, but what's the difference there for you as a coach?
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously it's the different level of competition, right? But Longwood's a really, really good ball club, and they're playing some really good basketball, especially on the offensive side right now. They're averaging about 70 points a game, and you know, our defense has really locked in as of late for the last month, and so something's got to give. You know, we've been holding teams to 60 points or less, and like I said, they're averaging 70. So it's you know, it's going to be one of those games, especially early on, who can impose their will and really take over this game.
I know you've got games after this if you win, but it's not a conference tournament where you're playing every day. Do you feel like you guys can run a little more, or will try to in this game and play a little faster, even though you only have 7?
We'll pick and choose. You know, when the opportunity presents itself, I've been telling our players, you know, go take advantage of it. So if we get a long rebound and, you know, we're pushing the ball and we have someone ahead, we want to kick ahead and shoot that early 3, or maybe attack the glass and try to get that smack the glass layup. But if the defense is set, you know, we just got to slow ourselves down, get into one of our sets and, you know, play some efficient basketball in the half-court set.
All 3 of the players we just talked to seem like they are just kind of the consummate student athlete. You can see the leadership with all of them, especially a 6th-year player, and Kendall, I think, is a 5th year.
Yep.
So what do those 3 do to you, more specifically from a leadership standpoint?
Yeah, they do a lot of different things for us, but the one thing that's consistent about those 3, they set the tone with how hard they work every single day, and that's been from day one, ever since Michaela's been here, her freshman year, and the same with Kayla and KB. Their work ethic just doesn't change. Every single day, they're in the gym, they're working on their craft, and everyone else has to fall in line. And if you don't, you stand out in a bad way here. So the young ones, our sophomores, they do the same thing. You know, Jess and Hunt and Jada and even BP, like, you know, and so they just rub off, and that's their leadership. They lead by example. I would like for them to be a little more vocal, but that's not really who they are. You know, KB's by far the most vocal leader. The rest of them, they lead by example.
I know Maria left last year. What did you take from her and keep in place, and what were some of the things that you changed in your philosophy as a coach?
Yeah, it's it's funny. So Maria was she is a very talented offensive coach. So, you know, offensively, I had moved over to that side of the court. You know, I was the defensive coordinator for the last 3 years, and I said, I'm going to slide over and try to give this offensive thing a shot. And, you know, I had this motion offense that we were running, and we're having a lot of success with it. And then people started to figure it out and started to sit on certain actions. So I was like, man, I got to go watch some of Maria's stuff, and I had to go steal some of her chin actions. So we've been running a lot more ball screens in our offense, and I was with her every single day, so I know that offense in and out. So that's something that we just implemented probably about a month ago.
We were just talking to some of the players, and there's been some kind of hiccups along the way at the beginning of the season for you guys that, were out of your control, whether it be, losing 7 of your first 8 games or the 2 forfeitures you had at the end of December. Would you say resilience is a good word to describe your career this year?
Yeah, for sure. There was a lot of new dynamics with this team. One, me being in this chair. I was a bad head coach. I'll be the first one to tell you I was all over the place, and it took me a while to figure it out, both on and off the court with this group. And then we had a new defensive coordinator with Dave, so that was a new dynamic. And then a new freshman. So it was just so many different things that we just had to figure out. But the one thing about this group, they're tough. They're tough, and I'm a tough individual. And one thing we're not about is quitting. We're just going to keep fighting. We're going to keep battling. And I told them, listen. Anytime I made a mistake, I'd let them know. Listen, I messed up today. We lost today because of me, not because of you. I was a bad coach today. So, credit to them. They could have quit on me, but they didn't, and they continue to work with me and work with the rest of this coaching staff. And, the last month we figured it out. It took us damn near all season, but we got there, and that's why we're playing some good ball now.
We know you're a young coach. We're young broadcasters. There are a lot of really talented young coaches in the game right now.
Mm-hmm.
Who are some of your coaches that you idolized kind of growing up and when you were playing?
Yeah, the first one that comes to mind, and people are going to say this is a little cliche of me, but Dan Engelstad, our men's coach, that's my guy right there. I've learned a lot from him, and he's taught me a lot. I played for him at SVC, and we grew up together pretty much. And he went to Whitman High School, so did I, and we worked out together. And I almost went to the same school he did. So Dan he's a role model. He means a lot to me, and he's a big reason why I'm here right now.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Wait, Coach, I have one more.
Sure.
You can decline to answer this.
Okay.
You graduated college in 16. How old are you?
I'm 32 years old.
Okay.
About to turn 33 here in March 28th.
All right. We might use that if that's okay with you.
No, yeah,
because
that's
we are
cool.
trying to figure out if you are the youngest coach in D1, and
I think so.
we're going to
but
work on that.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you are. Okay.
Probably.
Thank you for answering.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so now we'll see if Grace has any questions. I don't see a hand up. So we're good? Okay. All right, Coach, I think we're done here.
Awesome.
Thank you very, very much for your time, and good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks. See you guys.
A recording of this press conference will be available in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at www.ncaa.veritone.com. Transcripts are provided by ASAP and will be posted shortly. Thank you for joining us.